Hello, you wonderful tea people, and this is a product introduction for honey black oolong. Now, this oolong is an experimental oolong, and it's super unique tea. This tea is an oolong made with the same material that you would make a honey fragrance black tea. So it's an oolong, but it's a black tea. It's a black tea, but it's an oolong. And in the middle, in all of that, you've got thrown in the honey fragrance beautifulness. Now, take a look. Here it is right here. You can see it's quite black. And all these guys here are the little balls. They're quite small. Now, this is not roasted. That's a really important thing. This is not a roasted tea. This tea is oxidized. So this tea is oxidized to a really high level. So it's about 80% oxidization, which is almost a black tea. Remember, black teas are 100% oxidized. This is only 80% oxidized. So this is a tea that has been oxidized quite a lot. But it's not a black tea. So what happens is you get what we're going to see. An oolong that's got sort of rich, earthy, floral flavors, but it's also got the oolong sort of floralness and subtleness and things like that. So let's keep going here. So this is about 3 grams. You can see I'm sort of going like this and dropping tea on the ground. So that's 3 grams right there. And so how we're going to do it, as usual, we will have this. We're going to put water in here for 3 minutes, and then we're going to put water in here for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and 1 minute. So we're going to do a Gong Fu method, and we're going to be doing sort of the traditional Western style brewing method, either in a, something you stick in the hot water, or a tea ball, or something like that. Now, what you have to remember about this tea is that the temperature actually does matter. So with oolongs, you want hot water. You want like almost boiling water. With these guys, not so much. So you want this to be off the boil. And so you don't want boiling water on this. So this is probably about anywhere from 90 to 95 degree water. It boiled about 2 minutes ago. And I've just sort of been letting it cool down. Because this tea, if you steep it too hot or too long, there is a little sour kick that can come out. And that is definitely not something you want to do with this really delicate, really beautiful, experimental honey black oolong, this thing that I'll tell you about it as we go along, but it's a really unique tea. It's a really unique tea. So one of the things about this tea is it takes a little bit of time for it to fully open up and fully express itself. Now, take a look at that. I mean, that's the first steep. There's hardly any color in there at all. Now, that's because these balls are really tightly rolled, and because they take, well, you can see here, it just takes a while for them to unfurl. So as we go through, I might actually even do a 4th steep to see how it goes. So after the first steep here, the smell is starting to come out, and this is, I just did the honey fragrance black product demonstration, and smelling this here, what you're getting more out of this one than the honey fragrance black tea is sort of like a rose floral is coming off of this, a deep earthy, rosy type of floral that's coming off of this. Now the honey fragrance black tea has been bitten by bugs. And the material, and it's created, the bug's defense mechanism has created this beautiful sweetness that tastes just like honey. And so this is the same thing, except that it's in an oolong. So it's also got the florals. So the florals are in there as well, which, in my mind, makes it even better. Now there is one catch, of course. The smell of the leaves, like this, there's almost no smell at all. So when you smell it, there's nothing, there's kind of just like the bag that maybe it was packed in. Now, that changes once you put hot water on it, obviously. But when you first smell it, you're not really getting that much flavor coming out of it at all. It's not as strong a flavor as you would get with some of the other teas from the smell. But the flavor itself is great, as we'll see in a second. So here we go. You can see the leaves have opened up over here, but I mean, I could still do this for another couple minutes actually. But we're doing 3 minutes. That's the experiment. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is the experiment. So we're doing it. Now, if you look back at the honey fragrance black tea, you can see that the color is a lot deeper than this. This is a lighter color. And this is because it's done as an oolong. It's not oxidized to 100%, as I said before. It's only about 80%. And so the color is not quite as rich or as deep. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not quite as dark as it is not quite as dark as it is for the honey fragrance black teas, because it's not a black tea. Well, I mean, it's a black oolong, but it's not a black tea. It's somewhere in the middle between those. And so the smell that's coming off of them is such a strange one. I mean, it doesn't, if you like black teas, right? Like the kick of black teas, you like to, like the really strong flavors of black teas. This is not that. This is a softer, rounder tea. If you like the sort of the florals of oolongs and you like the deeper earthy notes, then this tea is just a perfect match, right? If you like the softer black teas or sort of the darker oolongs. But again, this is not roasted. So the color coming from here is not some sort of charcoal roast. It's not some sort of other thing that is creating this color. It comes just from the oxidization process. So these leaves have been rolled and left to sit. And they've been left to sit for enough time so that they can take on the character of a black tea, but not all the way to the black tea. Anyways, here we go. Let's give it a taste so we can taste the difference between these two and this very interesting hybrid style of tea. Now, you can see each one of these little balls or nuggets, they're really quite small. And as they open up, a lot of them, because they've been rolled more than the usual, a lot of them are just a single leaf, just like this. So you can see here's what a lot of them are. It's just a single leaf. Now, can you see the serrated edges here? That's a tell for Jinshuan cultivar, the milk oolong cultivar, Jinshuan. So that's a tell for the Jinshuan cultivar there. So here we go. Why don't we get into it, and we will sample some of these teas. So here's the first steep. This was only 30 seconds. Wow, that's more pleasant than the color would suggest. So it's got a little bit of a woodiness, a richness to it, a rich earthy woodiness to it, but you get hints of the sweetness. But it's not very strong. It's not very strong. Stronger than I thought it was going to be, but it's really not that very strong. Now, a lot of people throw away the rinse. I drink the rinse because I know these teas are clean. A lot of people throw away the rinse because they're worried about chemicals, like a rinse is going to get rid of the chemicals. Anyways, don't even get me started. So here we go. Here is the second steep, and this was about 45 seconds. So I did this the right way. I'm glad I did this the right way. There's one time I did it the wrong way where I used boiling water and I steeped it for too long. And there was a sour taste that came out. It was not pleasant at all. It wasn't very good. Now this is really quite good. This has got the honey fragrance sweetness. And as I mentioned on the honey fragrance black tea little demo, it's fresh in my mind because I did it like 10 minutes ago. It's this tea, the honey fragrance taste is such a distinct sweetness that you have no, like once it's there, it's undeniably there. And if it's not there, it's undeniably not there. So, drinking this here, you get, with the second steep, the sweetness coming from it. So the sweetness is flowing out of it, out of this tea now. And it's actually kind of a thicker liqueur than most teas, almost like a pu'er. Yes, that's very pleasant. So let's go on to the third one here. So this is the third steep, and this was steeped for exactly 1 minute. Well, exactly might be too strong a word, but about 1 minute. So here we go. Test it out. So this one's getting some of the richness and the sort of the earthiness from the tea coming out. So these three, this one had some of the sort of the, you know, the first bits of it, sort of a little bit of woodiness, something like that. This one was really strong with the sweetness. This one is strong with the sweetness as well, but it's bringing out some of the black tea notes, some of the richer notes and the, you know, black tea notes, the deeper notes, the earthy notes, things like that. And the aftertaste has the floral, so the oolong floral. But it's, you know, it's not like the jasmine floral that you might get from some of the oolongs. It's not the same floral. This is a different floral. So this is like a rose or a deep, earthier, rosy type of floral. Very similar to the red oolong that we have on the side as well. That's good. So here we go. The 3-minute one. So this was less than boiling water for 3 minutes. So why don't we give it a try here? Entirely doable. So this is very suited to Western style brewing. So if you got a tea ball, it's best not to have a tea ball, but something that you can put in the hot water where the leaves have place to expand. Maybe like a really big tea ball, but you really do want the leaves to expand. But if you do it sort of a Western style brewing, you know, 3 minutes, you put it in the tea ball, you put it 3 minutes in the water, this is definitely suitable for that Western style brewing practice, for sure. But this is one of the teas that is a little bit temperature sensitive. You don't want to be putting you don't want to be putting water that's on a rolling boil into this tea. You just don't want to be doing it. It's not going to help the tea. It's not going to be good for the tea. And it might bring out a little bit of a sour note to it. So you do have to be careful. But overall, I cannot complain about the 3-minute steep. It's actually quite good. Yes. It's actually quite good. So there you have it. With this, you can probably do another, well, it's with the black teas, you know, they go a little bit faster. You can't do as many steeps as you can with some of the oolongs, but this is an oolong. So you probably get about between 3 and 5 more steeps out of this. So you probably get up to 2 and 4 more steeps out of this one here. And this, you can probably do this for 3 minutes. You probably do this once, at least one more time, but you probably can do it twice. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the video underneath. If you have any questions you want to get in touch with me with, just send an email to matt@mountainstreamteas.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.